depending on where you're watching this. This is James Colamba. We are outside the city mortuary, and we want to comment on the state of affairs in this country in relation to the police service we have in Kenya and the rock political establishment in Kenya. As Julius Kamau says it, colonialism never really ended. We are still being governed by a police service that is using the old money. A police service that is still oppressive, repressive, and retrogressive. We wonder what kind of training our police officers go through pale Kiganja, because it appears there's a problem with that syllabus. Maybe we've been focusing on the wrong syllabus. We are obsessed about the CPC. Perhaps we should be obsessed about the police training syllabus. There is something quite unhinged about the training of police officers in this country. It does not make sense to us that every other profession is very humane in this country. Doctors are humane, teachers are humane, lawyers are humane, engineers are humane. But the police service and the police system we have in Kenya is full of crooks. I am not trying to denigrate them, but most of our police officers are belligerent. They are always looking for a reason to antagonize the Kenyan. They are always looking for the best reason to extort a bribe from you. They are always looking for the best reason to instill fear in you as a Kenyan citizen. This is untenable. Going forward, we need to have a better police system because the problem is endemic and systemic. It has been perpetuated from one regime to another. There have been killer squads in the police system in Kenya. From the time of Moi to Kenyatta's era. To this very day, there still exists a killer squad that targets some of us. Myself, I am a walking target. I have been warned severally. You would wonder, just by being critical. Being a strong dissenter of this government is almost a death warrant in this country. And that is unsustainable. I wonder what syllabus these police officers are taken at Kiganjo, because it appears that syllabus clearly misses out on chapter 4 on the Bill of Rights. And they are converted into animals. Yes, they are animals. Not all police officers in Kenya are animals, but a majority of them are animals. They see some of us and they see enemies. Imagine, we don't own guns, we are not criminals, they have called us treasonous criminals, we are not anarchists, we are law-abiding citizens, and we are patriots. We are only exercising our sovereign duty to hold the government into account. And that appears to be a crime in this country. So I have started by saying we need to reform the police service in Kenya. It is merely a service by name. Majorly it is a force that has been weaponized and politicized, and it is being used perennially from one regime to another to suffocate and to stifle dissent in this country. No citizen should have to check over their shoulder as they walk in the streets of Nairobi or in the other counties in this country. No citizen whatsoever. To re-establish a rapprochement between the citizens and the police service, we need to institute police reforms that cut across all the sectors that are affiliated to the police service, from the NIS to the DCI to the police service itself. And we must start by digitizing the occurrence book. Because with a digital occurrence book, we would have understood and would have seen for ourselves where Albert Ojwang was booked, because he was not booked at Central Police Station. Hakuna mtu anafaa kutembea hii Kenya akitafuta mtu kama shilingi. Ati our lawyers run from Capitol Hill to Muthaiga Police Station to Milimani to Central Police Station wakitafuta mtu. How? In a digital era, that is impossible. There should be a digital occurrence. And as we have seen in other countries, the police service in Kenya should have body cameras on them. Hakuna polisi anafaa kutembea Kenya hii fully uniform without a body camera. Kwani how expensive are body cameras? We need to see what they were recording. We need to see them indicting you. We need to see the language they use as they indict you. We need to see how gentle they are as they arrest you, because it should not be brutalized. Mtu akifanya makosa, jameni, hakuna kitu utapoteza. Ukienda kwake politely, umweke pingu, msomee mashtaka na umpeleke mbele. Why do you have to apprehend people forcefully? Na mtu hajakataa kushikwa, unakuja mnamuinua juu ni kama sijui yeye ni terrorist. Innocent Kenyans should not be terrorized by a police service. We should also think of the possibility of digitizing all police cases. Hii mambo ifai kukua ni kama inafichwa kama bangi. Hakuna mtu anafaa kustruggle kujua watu wake wako wapi. We should also retrofit all police stations with digital cameras. Kuna police stations hazina CCTV cameras in this country. Kwani how expensive are CCTV cameras? All police cells in this country should have digital cameras. Na jameni, hata hapo cells mtuwekee tu viti juu, unajua hata mimi mnaweza nichukua anytime. Mtuwekee viti, tunapumzika hapo kidogo. Hiyo floor ni baridi sana. Every police vehicle must also have a camera. And they must belong to gazetted police stations. Sisi tumezunguka hii street na we can tell you without a doubt, there are police vehicles in these streets that belong to police stations that are not gazetted. Police station ukitafuta, hata utafute hadi mwaka ujao hutawahi ipata. So that is a rogue police vehicle. Now it has the police colors, and it is that most of these vehicles are used to abduct our critics. Na hiyo kitu lazima tukatae. Hata hizo gari tunafaa tuchome. We cannot have police vehicles that have police brand colors and they do not belong to any non-police station. Unachukuliwa upeleko wapi? By a vehicle that does not have a designated police station. We should also ensure that there is a command jurisprudence in Kenya, in that the rogue officers who issued illegal and unconstitutional orders for the arrest, torture, illegal detention, and the punishing of our citizens are taken into detention, custody, prosecution, and sentencing. Hakuna vile mtu kama OCS ama OCPD ama mkubwa OCPD atatoa an illegal order to arrest, detain, abduct and forcibly disappear a Kenyan, alafu hakuna action inachukuliwa. They sacrifice their OCSs and their deputy OCSs, lakini order ilitoka majuu. Order imetoka huko juu inaenda ikishuka chini. Hata kama ni president, I am submitting to you that the president of Kenya is not above the law. He is a citizen like you and me. Yes, we understand. He enjoys immunity from prosecution when he is president. But that immunity is limited. That immunity is limited to violations on international treaties. If the president violates international treaties on human rights, he must and he should be taken into custody and he should be tried for the crimes against humanity. It is perhaps time to revive the ICC cases, because this is too much. They are targeting innocent citizens for speaking up. Kwani Albert Ojwang alifanya makosa gani? For speaking out and saying that the Deputy Inspector General Langat has a certain cabal of police officers he takes money from, and there is a long chain to this. They have since deleted the X account that belonged to Albert Ojwang, his TikTok account, his Facebook account. Generally, Albert Ojwang is a ghost now. He does not exist. Not because he's dead. That is one. Second, they have ensured they have deleted all his social media accounts. Why? And they still did not book him at Central Police Station. Does that not point to sinister motives? Tell me why Albert Ojwang had to be transported 500 kilometers from Homa Bay to Nairobi. If
the family spokesperson, then we will get at liberty.
It has been normalized the police brutality in this country has been normalized for decades now. Yaani polisi anajua hakuna mahali mtanipeleka. Anajua hata nikifanya makosa gani, kesi yangu itazungushwa na itazungushwa, and the possibility of being convicted is almost zero. The possibility of being convicted is almost zero. Tell me why the case for Baby Pendo was withdrawn. After 7 years of waiting, we followed up on that case for 7 years. In the end, correct me if I'm wrong, that case was withdrawn, citing a lot of flimsy reasons. Mara lack of evidence, mara the case was not properly prosecuted. Is that the country we want? That today, the case on Rex Masai, the case on Albert Ojwang may never be concluded because there are people who are conniving to deny the families justice and the Kenyans at large. And we want to issue another statement as I wind up. We need to fix IPOA. No one talks about this, but we need to fix IPOA. We have a body that is tasked with the responsibility of conducting investigations on police misconduct, on malfeasance, and this body also audits the internal affairs unit, which is like the police IPOA. So IPOA has jurisprudence, it has authority over the police service, including the disciplinary committee of the police service. That is a very powerful body. But it appears it is another toothless pulpit. Why? It is intentionally underfunded because the NIS itself has a budget bigger than the IPOA. And the NIS has a budget bigger than the judiciary. It is intentionally, IPOA is intentionally underfunded because they do not want it to perform as by its constitutional mandate. And they do not want to expand its powers because it must have the power to prosecute, if not, the power to proffer punishment to some of these police officers. The IPOA is like the Senate. The Senate in Kenya is an investigative body that oversees the county government but cannot prosecute governors. It can only proffer prosecutions to the DPP. Beyond that, the Senate is a loudmouth. Ni watu wa kupiga kelele. Na IPOA ni body ya kupiga kelele. Because if they cannot take action beyond identifying the evidence and knowing the background of the case, then why do we need them? The DPP and the DCI, the DCI can carry out investigations on police misconduct. Escape me. The idea behind IPOA was to have a body that draws together stakeholders in the security department that are not directly affiliated to the police. Watu ambao hawataogopa kuweka polisi ndani kwa sababu wao si polisi. Tuko na body kama hiyo lakini bado imeshindwa kufanya kazi kwa sababu constitutionally iko weak. Haijapewa mandate ya kuprosecute ama kuweka punishment kwa polisi. Basically, hata chairperson wa IPOA akikuja hapa atakwambia tutachunguza. Lakini hakuna kitu atafanya. Ata hand over hiyo uchunguzi kwa DPP. What if the DPP does not have the interest to prosecute to finality a fellow state officer? Because the DPP and the police officers are all state officers. So what if that does not happen? That means that these families will not get justice. Is that the country we want? Basically, we are all wasting time. Nikimalizia na mambo ya siasa kidogo. Kuna watu wanazunguka Kenya hii wanajiita opposition. Nyinyi mnawajua. Wanawaambia hai kazi, sijui shika gani. Sasa hiyo miaka yote Wakamba na Wakikuyu wameishi side by side. The administrations of Kikuyu presidents have been sidelining the eastern region, including our good brothers from the northeastern region. Sasa saa hii ndio wanakumbuka watu wa northeastern na watu wa eastern wote ni kazi. They have not developed the eastern region, they have underdeveloped the northeastern region, lakini leo wanataka kuwaita high caste. Hiyo upuzi tumekataa. I want to say it categorically here that the opposition led by Kina Gachagua, Kalonzo and Wamalwa are not going to help us. They are not interested in helping us. Wao wako kipindi na wako siasa. And to make it clear, let me ask you a simple question. Why is no one discussing the impeachment of William Ruto? Because William Ruto is not above the law. He is impeachable.